Sponsored by Supercap. Flamengo's caps are amazing. The new collections are incredible. And you can also find them here on YouTube Shopping and, of course, at Flamengo's official stores. Man, the rivals are desperate. My friend isn't just hallucinating, he's going crazy. He's saying that when financial fair play comes, this will end, that the CBF has to implement financial fair play soon. Hey, Nate, let me just tell you, I wanted to start the video by saying this. When financial fair play comes, that's when Flamengo will really take off. That's when Flamengo will defeat everyone and win it all. That's what Flamengo wants. You don't get it.
He came and said, hey.
Nay's channel, Botafogo fan, this one right here. Nay's channel, okay? That's it. That's him.
My friend Nay's channel.
Do you really think financial fair play is going to hurt Flamengo, is going to get in Flamengo's way, is going to hold Flamengo back? It's the opposite, Nay. It's the other clubs that still manage to get something because there isn't financial fair play, like your Botafogo.
Damn, a Botafogo fan wanting to talk about financial fair play with Tex. You don't pay anyone. There's another transfer ban. You got another transfer ban. And you want to talk about financial fair play? You're kidding me, right?
It's not possible.
You're kidding me.
And hold on, because there are 5 Flamengo players called up for the World Cup just for the Brazilian national team. There's still Uruguay, then Colombia, Ecuador, but there are 5 just for the national team, 5 just for the Brazilian national team. So hold on, buddy, because things are going to get intense.
Samurai!
Rubro Negro posted here, take a look. He took this clip of Ney here, man, is unbelievable. Look at how desperate they are. I'll discuss the call-up and preliminary list soon, but first, look at this. This gentleman up here will speak now. Nay's channel, look at that.
You see the arrogance, right? Baton's arrogance.
Baton? Is it Batman? Batman? Batman?
Let's fight and appeal to get the 3 points. How are you going to get the 3 points from yesterday's game if you didn't play? How are you going to get them?
Why didn't you play? Who's to blame?
Huh.
Whose fault is it?
They want to bully their way to a win. No, man, there has to be a match. Nay. It was the fans. Very well, it wasn't the club.
Look, there he is.
It was the fans who were provoking their own club. And you want to take advantage of that? You want to gain an advantage from that?
My God, what kind of advantage, man? When are they going to play Baton? Obviously, there will be 3 points. You can send it. I want it. I accept. So how's this going to be? Yeah, I can see it. You're desperate, aren't you? Hey, my friends, check this out. Just to give you a quick update here, Flamengo already found out behind the scenes that CONMEBOL's decision will be, not officially yet, but it will be the 3 points, the walkover, to their despair. They're desperate, man. Just hand the trophy over to Flamengo already. Go ahead and send it. I accept, okay? I accept. I have no problem with that, really. Go ahead and send it. I'll leave you all whining while I want to win the 5th title, okay? Palmeiras got a made-up Brazilian League title by fax. I want it. Do you want it too? Comment below. Do you want it too? I want it. They're desperate. My friends, they're desperate, okay? And so the important update here is that Lucas Paquetá and Pedro are on the preliminary list for the national team for the World Cup, okay? So Antelope has already put them on the list for the World Cup, okay? According to journalist Marcel Rizzo from Estadão, some Flamengo players are on that list. And then we have Alexandro, Leo Pereira, Paquetá, Pedro, and Danilo. Okay, so in defense, Leo Pereira, Danilo, and Alexandro, Paquetá further up, and Pedro. And I'll tell you guys the following, in my opinion, okay? Based on the little I understand about movement, World Cup, and all that from experience, man, he's going to take Pedro and Paquetá. And he's going to take 5 Flamengo players. At least it's going to be 4. At least there will be 4 Flamengo players. At least. But he's going to take 5. I'm almost sure he'll take all 5, okay? It'll depend on Alexandro's physical condition. To me, Leo Pereira is more of a lock than Alexandro. Danilo also confirmed he's going. If Alexandro is in good physical condition, he'll go too. So Alexandro, Leo Pereira, Danilo, Lucas Paquetá, and Pedro have to be at the World Cup and will be at the World Cup. They're already on the preliminary list and will be on the final list. To the despair of those guys from before, they go crazy, my friends. Desperate. Look, in an interview with Jornal do Fla, goalkeeper Paulo Vitor recalled his time at Flamengo and said he was happy to see the club becoming more organized and growing financially. It's a club that has always aimed for titles. I won't compare eras since times are different, but I was privileged to win the Brazilian Championship, the Copa do Brasil, and several state titles. And we're happy to see an organized Flamengo that can also go after big stars outside Brazil. The tendency is to keep growing financially, winning titles. That's what Flamengo deserves. That's where Flamengo deserves to be as well. Winning and being a leading force. Then he says that Flamengo has evolved a lot. Football demands that, and Flamengo did it with a lot of intelligence. The big difference we see from my time to now is really the club's structure. Is that right? So Paulo Vitor is making it clear that he's very happy, even though, well, he went to a rival and all that, right? But he's making it clear that he roots for Flamengo's success. Man, everyone who came up through Flamengo's youth academy, right? You can't help it, right? You can't help it. Let's go. Let's bring up the transfer market. Let's start talking about the transfer market. According to the RTI Esportes portal, Flamengo is monitoring the situation of the forward Leo Chiesa from Southampton, England. Flamengo keeping an eye on English football. And keeping an eye then on the forward Leo Chiesa, okay? From Southampton. I'll look into this today, see if it's really true. I'll talk to the Flamengo staff to find out if there's real interest. We're giving credit here, right, to RTI Esportes. The Brazilian can play both as a left winger, right winger, and even as an attacking midfielder. He would be an alternative in case Everton Cebolinha leaves. So, in any case, Flamengo is already looking, whether it's confirmed or not. We already know that Flamengo is searching the market for a replacement for Everton Cebolinha. They know he'll likely leave and are seeking a replacement. He's a little bit over the age limit that Flamengo set at 26 years old, but it's just a little, okay? Flamengo might have been tracking him at 26, and this is only now being revealed. Leo is 27 years old. He came up through Chapecoense's youth academy. He also played for Laguiadense, right? At Uruguayan Club Defensa, he played in Sweden, 4 clubs in Germany, Schalke 04, Magdeburg, SSV, and Andenheim, right? Teams from Germany. He played for 4 teams in Germany. For Southampton, the Brazilian played 42 matches, scored 7 goals, and provided 10 assists to his teammates. For a player who isn't a striker, he played in 42 games and was involved in 17 goals, direct goal contributions. He had 17, okay? His numbers are interesting. He won't be a cheap player, but his numbers are interesting at Southampton. He's 27 years old. He's right at the limit, right? He's a little over the age limit that Flamengo set, but I don't think that would be a problem, okay? Obviously, in the next video, we'll bring you an update. Let me send it here too, right? So we can find out exactly, right? And then we'll bring it to you throughout the day, but his numbers aren't bad, man. They're not bad, okay? I think it's possible, okay? It's possible. I thought the numbers were good. It's possible that he's really a player Flamengo is interested in. This information, as I said, is from RTI Esporte, okay? You know, Flamengo's looking for players, doing some scouting. There's also a forward, a striker that Flamengo is trying to sign from Argentine football, I've already told you, right? And he's also going to be a bit of a gamble, that's it. Look, let me talk to you more about the transfer market. There's still more for us to discuss about the transfer market. Yeah. Look, Flamengo has signed someone, okay? A player, and remember, he's from Azures, that club Flamengo partnered with, the club from the south of the country. They develop a lot of players. They developed Guilherme and Felipe Teresa. Azures now has an agreement with Flamengo. So, according to GE, Flamengo is close to signing midfielder Cristian Araujo, a young talent from Mirasol, just 16 years old. Flamengo is signing a young player from Mirasol. The girl is a product of Azures. Congratulations to Flamengo for looking for these players in the youth system, especially at that club, Azures. So many good players. Congratulations to Nelson. Hey, Nelson. Hey, everyone at Azures producing great players who are joining Flamengo and the top clubs in the world. So, the young player who went through Palmeiras' youth system, Flamengo swooped in. A player who was at Palmeiras, Palmeiras didn't take advantage, just like they did with us with Richard Rios. He was at Flamengo, they slipped up, and he was picked up. Flamengo too, this guy, Cristian Araujo, the midfielder, was at Palmeiras. They slipped up. Flamengo went there and said, hey, come here. You're at Mirasol, come here. He's already in Rio de Janeiro. He's undergoing medical exams. He's signing the contract with Flamengo. The news about the signing should come out at any moment. In the last edition of the Copinha, he caught attention as Mirasol's youngest player on the field, even though he was only 15 years old. He was a starter for the team and played wearing the number 10 jersey. Christian is another prospect for Flamengo, which has been heavily investing in young talents from Brazilian and South American football since the arrival of the Portuguese coach Alfredo Almeida, in charge of Flamengo's youth academy. That's it, my friends. So keep an eye on Christian. Flamengo is repeating what Palmeiras did with Richard Rios. Flamengo missed out, Richard joined another team, and Palmeiras picked him up. Christian was at Palmeiras, then Mirasol, and now Flamengo is signing him. That's how it should work. Now let me update you on Leo Ortiz. Napoli from Italy is really in the market to sign a defender, and Leo Ortiz is one of the names on Napoli's list. So he has an Italian passport, it's worth mentioning. There's even an article from Globo Esporte here saying that Leo Ortiz got his Italian passport. Yeah. And Napoli is keeping an eye on defenders and has Leo Ortiz on their list. Bruno Lemos, who works with Mauro Santana, brought us this information and gave us permission to publish it exclusively. He said, Papa, I'm giving you this information. There are people there in Italy, journalists there, who confirm it. Napoli from Italy. Leo Ortiz is on their list of possible signings. So, Flamengo's defender had already attracted interest from several international clubs in the past, and now he's once again being considered as a possible signing for Italian football. So, we know that Napoli from Italy is looking for defenders. He has an Italian passport, which makes things easier regarding non-EU players and all that. So that's already an advantage, and they're going to be looking to sign a defender. And of course, with Leo Ortiz on the list, obviously, right? I spoke with a source connected to Flamengo's board not long ago about possible approaches for Flamengo players who are considered starters. And this source told me that the situation remains that Flamengo doesn't need to sell anyone, that Flamengo doesn't want to sell anyone, unless it's an extremely advantageous situation for the club and the player wants to leave and it's beneficial for Flamengo. Flamengo already has someone in mind for the position. There's Alexandro from Lille. Flamengo may bring him back since he came from their youth academy. Flamengo is already monitoring him precisely in case a big player like Leo Ortiz or Leo Pereira leaves. But Leo Pereira won't leave. Flamengo won't lose Leo Pereira. But if one of those players considered starters gets a big offer and wants to leave, Flamengo already has a player mapped out to replace him. So, what do you think? Would you sell Leo Ortiz? Would you bring in Alexandro? Who would you bring? Which player? Comment here and say who you would sign if Leo Ortiz really left. I was saying earlier that Flamengo already knows that the 3 points should be awarded. The game against Independiente Medellin should be ruled a walkover. Internally, that's the general comment, including the journalists who cover the Libertadores and even the people over there in Colombia. Everyone is already publishing that CONMEBOL should follow the precedents set by Colo-Colo and that Flamengo will win. They're already stating it as a fact, okay? Whoa, pause. Journalists are already saying that Flamengo will get the 3 points and will win by forfeit, okay? So, that's already widely reported news that Flamengo will get those 3 points and the match will be ruled a forfeit, okay? So, everything is pretty much settled already. Now, obviously, they'll have the trial, the hearing, and all that, but Flamengo will get those 3 points. It's precedent, okay? The information coming from Colombia, in fact, is that they already take it for granted that they're going to lose the 3 points. It's precedent. Flamengo has already been informed about this precedent, which means a decision has been made that way before and is simply repeated. It was exactly in the case of Fortaleza with Colo-Colo, okay? So Flamengo will receive the 3 points and the match will be ruled a forfeit. I'll leave the link to the video from our reporter Gabriel Orfão with Flazuero right in the middle of the commotion, showing everything, guys, in the description and in the pinned comment. Everything, okay? It's worth watching it uncensored. Everything. It's a channel I created here, Toma Minha Teoria, okay? It's a small channel just to post this so you can access these exclusive images. Take a look. Toma Minha Teoria. My friend, I'm bringing you this important information. 2 reinforcements confirmed for Flamengo. 2 reinforcements confirmed for Flamengo. It's important for us to bring this here. Flamengo is going to give Everton Araujo a break. Finally, he's already played 10, going on 11 consecutive games for Flamengo. So we have the possibility of Lucas Paquetá and Eric Pulgar returning. It's important to mention this because it eases the load, right? They've had a really long run of games, and Jorginho is starting to get into one too. Flamengo needs to be able to rotate players in that defensive midfield position too, right? So look, the return of Eric Pulgar and Paquetá, very close this week. Both of them are already back on the pitch and over the next few days back in Rio de Janeiro on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Flamengo gets these 2 players back, and it's likely that at least one of them will be on the squad list for Thursday's match. And then for the weekend with the game against Atlético Paranaense, Thursday is Copa do Brasil, Vitória versus Flamengo. So we should have at least one back by then. And then just to be sure, okay guys, so for sure, for the weekend, Flamengo versus Atlético Paranaense, okay? If they don't come back on Thursday, at least one of them, right? For the weekend, we should have both of them available, okay? They're at the training center daily, even when Flamengo's players are in Porto Alegre. They still go for training, preparation, physiotherapy, and field work. So the return of Eric Pulgar and Lucas Paquetá is very important, and Flamengo didn't lose any players to injury in the Libertadores. That was the main thing. No players were injured in the Libertadores. The players also get some rest, and also it was good that Flamengo now has time to manage all of this. Then the rivals go crazy. There's no way around it, complaining, wanting Flamengo not to get the points, but go cry in bed. It's warmer, it's better. I encourage you, okay? Those of you following us across all our social media, follow, like, share on all platforms, and remember that you can get Super Cap products. Check it out. Official Mengão rings come in various beautiful models available at official stores. If you're on our YouTube, you can also find them in the Shopee store. Flamengo on Shopee, that's right. Thank you, Leila Pereira. We're in this together, okay? And remember that you can travel with Caravana do Haroldo. So just look for it here on Insta or on the other platforms. On YouTube, we leave it in the description and pinned comment, Caravana do Haroldo. More hair to lose weight and also to take care of your hair health. So these are our sponsors. We're in this together. A big hug, a hug. Greetings, Brunegas. This is Flamengo. Beautiful jersey, right? It's on YouTube shopping. Thanks.